Hello, everybody. Another fucking unboxing, and it's only been a day. What's going on, Terrell? And also, the fuck is this? So, I figured I would use this time to give my impressions on the system. This is obviously like within a day impressions. Um, and explain what the fuck I have this for while also unboxing it. So, I think I played at least, I want to say, a little bit. I want to say at least an hour or two of Bomberman, and then probably like 3 or 4 hours of Zelda. Um, I've tried it in pretty much all of its configurations. The most probably being handheld mode. I don't think I've have I. I don't think I've played. No, that's not true. I played Zelda last night on the television, and I played it this morning almost entirely on handheld. Just because why not? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say these few words about my favorite to least in favorite configuration of the Switch and its Joy Cons. Favorite is handheld mode. Period. Handheld mode to me is the best all around configuration for the controllers. The second being the Joy Cons individually, separated in your hands. And the third, and the worst in my opinion, is the fucking grip. Now, some of you, based on that, that should give you somewhat of an idea of why I bought this. This I bought because I have no problems playing this in handheld mode. I have no problems playing Zelda or Bomberman in handheld mode. But when I have to switch, no pun intended, which is that's gonna get really fucking old. That's the problem with it being such a common word. It's very catchy, but then people want to make the joke because it's so easily made. Um, what was I gonna say? But because when I switched to the one Joy-Con in each hand thing, is when it becomes a problem because it's not both my hands. It's particularly my left hand that has the most trouble, which will almost be probably the opposite for most people, because most people are going to tell you it's the right hand because of the whole switching between the buttons and the camera. My left hand, for some reason, cramps up a little bit too frequently for my taste, and the grip to me is the absolute worst for both because it has none of the benefits the Joy-Cons separately have, and it has more detriments on top of the detriments the controls already had to begin with. I have really no drive to use that thing in a grip at all. That'll probably be the least way it's played. And also because it's Zelda, I need to try it. I didn't really enjoy it in the grip. The grip is pretty much a bullshit replacement for this. And if this is available, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. So although Nintendo didn't force my hand, realistically, if you don't like well, I can't really say anything about this yet until I really play with it, but this feels bulky as shit. Is this the same size? This looks like it's almost the same exact size. It literally is the Wii U Pro controller with bigger buttons. Let me see, are these analog sticks the same amount of range? It feels like these analog sticks are bigger on the Switch controller, and they're very similar. It literally feels like there's only a few minor differences. Let me put them both on screen. I think the Switch one might be slightly bigger, maybe. It's so close that you could easily just say they're the same size. And it seems like the analog sticks on this one are slightly bigger. The buttons are definitely bigger. And I think that they fixed the stupid problem I had with the... Yes, they did. They made them buttons. You know the one thing I don't like on the gamepad or the Wii U? The home and power button. Where they're like pushed in and you can easily make them go in lower and lower to the point where it just turns into, oh, I can't really push the button anymore. Luckily, I never had to hit it often enough for it to be a thing yet, but I know those always end up being a thing. So I like the fact that on here, they're actually buttons. This probably isn't charged anyway, so I can tap dance on this bitch all I want. They're actual buttons. I like the way it looks. Feels fine. It literally seems like it's on the same tier as the Pro controller. As the Wii U Pro controller. So there's not too much to really comment about. But this will probably be my main way of playing Zelda on the TV. Handheld mode, as I said, I'm fine with. And I played about 3 hours of that this morning. So I don't have any problems with handheld mode. It's primarily just because I cramp up in my left hand surprisingly quicker than my right hand. My right hand, I didn't have any problems holding the right Joy-Con. So if it's a game that requires like one Joy-Con and I can just one-hand it, I probably won't have any problems using the Joy-Cons individually. I imagine that the only two ways I'll be playing the Switch personally is either on consoles like this or on handheld like the way it is in handheld mode. I don't want to really talk about Zelda because I'm pretty sure I'll end up talking about the Juices Loose. On the Juices Loose, I'll end up talking about Zelda anyway. So if you're not subscribed to Terminator Juices channel, or if you want to go to my website to follow the Juices Loose episodes and catch up on the other episodes of the podcast, link is in the description. Also, free USB-C cable, which I'll probably end up using to charge the Switch casually, actually. So that's another benefit. I think that's all that's in there. Yeah, it is. Okay. So what I'm probably going to do is let this thing charge, watch some Blue Exorcist, go to the gym, and then go back up for another round of Zelda. This is the gamer struggle. And if you're counting how much I've spent so far, I have spent, let's say, 300 in tax, 60 on Zelda, 40 on Bomberman, 70 on this because I used my Target rewards card. So I'm probably like around $400 to $500 at this point. And the only other thing I would want to get is a screen protector / cover, but I haven't found a good one yet. So that one's on the wait and see list until I see some good covers and some good deals. Especially with these reports about how certain decals seem to fuck up seem to leave marks on the Switch console and people getting it scratched. So yeah. That's the reason why I bought it. I bought it because for me personally, it's not that the Joy-Cons are uncomfortable in general. It's just that for me, while playing, for some reason my left hand has bigger problems with it than my right hand does. And the left hand, unfortunately, is how usually you move a character and whatnot. So it's not the best situation for me. So bought that because I know I was going to eventually have to get it anyway. I'll usually buy a Pro controller. I bought one for the Wii U, and I think the game. And I'll say this right now: I think the gamepad was more comfortable than the Switch's, because the gamepad gives you more to grip on versus the Switch. But that's all I'll say. I'll talk about it more later on. But yeah, that's the way we go pro. Oh, that's the way we go pro. Oh, that's the way we go pro. Oh, that's the way we go pro. That's the game. Play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace all. I have a headache. This is what happens when you don't take your Tylenol, folks.